What do you get the man who starts his career with a company in one century and ends it 37 years later with the same company in a different century? How about a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Colorado Roofing Association? Clarence Charles Pruitt is that man, and the 2018 version of the award has his name on it. Chuck Pruitt, who hasn't answered to Clarence since he was a young boy, was raised in the Walton-esque community known as Mulberry Grove, Illinois. His father owned a filling station that was housed in an old livery stable, and Chuck worked for him during his high school years. His experience ran the gamut from repairing cars to welding to sharpening chainsaws. Chuck says Mulberry Grove was a great place to raise a family, but there were not many employment opportunities in the small town. With his high school sweetheart Susan, who was by now his wife, beside him, Chuck set out in 1980 for the greener pastures of Greenville, Illinois, just a short trip west on Interstate 70 from Mulberry Grove. Chuck says he was a young kid who did not know what he was doing, but he made the right decision when he took a chance with Carlisle, a company that manufactured a wide variety of products, not the least of which was rubber roofing membrane. Chuck spent almost 10 years and performed what he says seems like 50 different jobs at the Greenville plant. But a desire to get out of shipping and receiving turned his eyes to the West. A job in Phoenix opened up, but the desert was not the part of the West where he and Susan wanted to settle. His patience paid off in 1989 when a field inspector position opened, this time in Denver, a place his family had vacationed several times and come to love. They moved to Aurora for 1 year before finally settling in Bailey, where they have lived ever since. When he first moved to Colorado, Chuck's territory covered a tremendous area. He worked in more than 20 states, including Alaska and Hawaii, tourist spots for others, but workplaces for Chuck. With the growth of Carlisle in the West and more manpower to help, Chuck's territory shrunk 12 years ago to 3 states, Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado. He says the product upgrades, including improved decking and fasteners, have made for a better roof system and more security for building owners in the form of longer and better warranties.
I mean, there just aren't that many people out there that have embraced the industry the way that Chuck did and to learn his profession. There was few times that he just didn't know the answer.
He says in all that time on the job, his favorite thing about working for Carlisle was all of the people he met along the way.
Every contractor knew when Chuck was doing an inspection that they were going to get treated the same way. They were going to be held to the same standard. So it was fair across the board, and I think that earned Chuck a great deal of respect amongst the contractor base. We have a contractor in Sidney, Montana, Teal Brothers, Dexter Teal. Just as an example, Dexter would not allow anybody else on his roof. Chuck was the only guy he would deal with.
He says he will not soon forget one of the most complex roofs he has ever seen, St. Anthony Hospital in Lakewood. That roof featured a nightmarish 40 levels of roofing and was a challenge with every 5-gallon bucket of glue.
An incredible amount of knowledge is wrapped up in that head of his. He was also heavily involved in the testing of products. He was heavily involved in application procedures and things like that. So over the years, Chuck was relied on for a lot of different things outside of just doing a roof inspection for a warranty.
According to the company, Chuck's first inspection was January of 1989, and he performed 11,272 inspections, covering more than 226 million square feet in 27 years.
I'd like to know how many square miles 226 million square feet is, but it's a lot. That actually might be a record. That's what we record. It doesn't include job site visits. So Chuck probably walked 300 or 400 million square feet of roofs.
There are few people that have ever been on that many roofs. I don't know anybody personally, and I've been in the industry almost 30 years and I come nowhere close.
Though his stress level decreased, Chuck said last year he finally decided to call it a career after 37 years, all with Carlisle. For a young man who supposedly did not know what he was doing, he did a lot right. When his wife joins him in retirement later this year, he says they will travel, fish, hunt, spend time outdoors, and have more time for their daughter Heather, son-in-law Mark, and grandchildren Tyler and Haley. Chuck says between everything he learned, the people he got to meet, and the company he worked for, it was a difficult job to leave after all those years. In the 7 months since his retirement, however, he has thought once or a dozen times about returning to the workforce. If he does, he says it will be on his terms and in a way that suits his lifestyle.
I guarantee you he's honored by this.
and being recognized, particularly by an organization like the CRA. Personally, I think this will really hit home with him.
I think he's honored and pleased that the industry as a whole is recognizing him for his commitment to the industry.
But before you contractors or manufacturers or distributors get out your cell phones to offer him a job, let him enjoy his award for just a little while.
The help that you had given me was incredible to my growth as a manager. So I want to thank you and wish you the best in your retirement, and definitely don't work too hard because you've earned it.
This is a well-deserved award. Couldn't go to a better person in our industry, and I just want to let him know that I appreciate all the work he did over the years, and he helped make my life easier.
Congratulations to Chuck Pruitt, the 2018 Lifetime Achievement Award winner.